Hey guys, it's Tori. Welcome back to my channel. I have my baby here. Aww. And today I'm going to be doing a labor and birth Q&A. I'm just going to be answering some questions for you guys so y'all can get a better idea on what my labor experience was like. It was definitely the best day of my life, the most empowering and beautiful experience that I've ever gone through. So stay tuned, please like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Let's start with question 1. How long were you pushing for? I was pushing for about 2.5 hours. It was a process. The baby was stuck in my birth canal. He kept going in and out, and that was a long process trying to get him through, and man was it painful. Next question. What was the most stressful thing about birth? Definitely pushing for so long. Also the contractions. The contractions were definitely the worst part. They were super painful. If you could, would you want to have a home birth if you had another baby? I always wanted to have a home birth, but after experiencing those contractions and how terrible they were, I do not know. I'm gonna say maybe. How was the pain of the contractions once you had the epidural? Definitely once I had the epidural, it took away all the pain. How long was the birth? My birth was 20 hours. Was it easy or hard for you? I'm gonna say that it was like mid. It wasn't too easy, but it wasn't too hard. I'm honestly surprised by the way that it was. I thought birth would just be more difficult to go through, but it definitely was a good experience. I had worship playing throughout my entire labor and delivery. I had it on when I was pushing. I was just constantly holding on to the Lord and praying, and I believe that God truly got me through that. How is postpartum going and how do you feel? I am exhausted. Other than that, I feel very, very blessed. I feel so happy to just have my baby, but I am so tired. Definitely waking up in the middle of the night for feedings and diaper changes. It can be a lot, but I thank my husband because he's there for me through it all. Like, we're a team in it. We take turns feeding and changing diapers, and it makes it a lot easier. But I am tired, so trying to get my energy back. But other than that, I really can't complain because I have my baby, and I just feel really blessed. Were you scared when you went into labor? How is Dion feeling? So Dion is my husband, just in case if anybody's watching and they don't know. But was I scared? Yes, I was scared. My water broke unexpectedly. It broke 5 weeks early from when he was supposed to be due. He was due on April 12th. My water broke on March 12th. I wasn't sure what was happening, so I was freaking out a little bit, and I was nervous that if it was my water, I was not prepared. There was still a lot of things that I wanted to do here at our house. We just moved here. I wanted to like paint more of the rooms and just get everything together, and there was still some baby stuff we needed to get. So when my water broke, I was freaking out. Like, I was having like a mini panic attack. I was like shaking and calling like everybody because I was also home alone. Whenever I found out that it was my water that had broke, I just felt more reassured, and I was like, okay, this is happening. We're gonna do this today. How is Dion feeling? He was really excited, and he was such a big help getting everything together, packing the car for everything that we needed for the hospital, having his family over, them getting everything we needed for the baby. Like, he was a big help, and his excitement and joy really calmed my nerves. What was the most painful thing for you? The contractions. At first, it was not painful. I was laughing through them, I was talking through them, but as they were intensifying and I had no control over them, and the pain was just getting worse, and there was nothing I could do, and I was like, crap, this is no joke. I can't even explain that pain. It was just like getting worse every second, and all I can do was yell at my husband to help me, but there was nothing he could do. I did that so many times. It's like, help me, help me. I was just yelling at him to help, but obviously there was nothing he can do. I just literally felt so hopeless as I was going through those contractions. Did you tear, and does it hurt? I tore a tiny bit, not enough for them to like need to stitch me up or anything. They said it was like a knee scrape, like barely anything. Does it hurt? Yes. When I pee, it hurts a little bit. Definitely not as painful as I was expecting it to hurt, but there is a process for going to the bathroom. I have to have pads, I have to have a bottle like with water to like wash me with, cooling pads that I have to put on, stuff like that. So going to the bathroom is definitely a process right now, but as the days go on, it is hurting less. I'm just so grateful that I just had a tiny tear, because I know some people have to get stitches and have like 4th degree tears, and I can't even imagine what the pain is like using the bathroom and just like walking and all that stuff. After the birth experience, would you want more kids? Yes, I would want more kids. I want a lot more kids. It was just such a beautiful experience. I think about it all the time. I'm just so happy. Did you get a push present? My husband got me like roses, if you want to count that as a push present. Was birth easier or harder than you thought? It was a lot easier than I thought. I always doubted myself when it came to birth. I had a lot of fears. I went from 0 centimeters dilated to 8 centimeters dilated in just an hour, and that was so cool because I thought it was gonna be hours and hours and hours until I started pushing. But whenever I was 8 centimeters dilated, after that hour of just resting with the epidural that I got, I was like, whoa, this is happening. Like, I'm having this baby tonight, and that was quick. So definitely easier than I thought it'd be. How's postpartum? Do you experience bleeding? Yes, I experienced bleeding, just a little bit. Definitely the first few days there was more, but now it's kind of like it's easing off. But they said that you could experience bleeding up to like 6 weeks. Did you have any birth fears? Yes. I feared that I would have to go into a C-section. I feared tearing pretty badly. I feared that I wouldn't make it through birth. There was a lot of fears that I had. Being able to have a vaginal birth, for it to be God-centered like it was, it just cancels out all those fears, and I'm just so grateful and thankful to God for getting me through it. Truly, just having worship on throughout that pushing process, and even the nurses were like singing along to the worship music. That brought me so much peace, and it truly was getting rid of all the fear that I had. I pushed with my whole might, and I was like, God, get this baby out. And that last push was so relieving, and it just took away all the fears that I had. I was just so proud of myself for doing it. Are you breastfeeding? No, I'm not breastfeeding right now. We're having a little difficulties with latching right now. So right now I am pumping breast milk for him, and I'm feeding him with his bottle. But every day the breastfeeding process gets better, so just practicing that right now. He still is pretty young, and preemies usually have a little harder time with that. We'll get there. How was the epidural induction? Did you have any side effects? The epidural, I was so nervous to get it. I didn't want to get it. I was going through hours and hours. I think it was like 6 hours of just pain, excruciating pain with the contractions, and I still was 0 centimeters dilated. That's when I was like, okay, I need to consider this. You know, the nurses told me that I wasn't gonna be able to rest with these contractions, and they told me that because I'm not dilated yet, it's gonna be a long process. So they suggested that I get the epidural so I could at least rest in between them, because I was trying to rest in between my contractions. I was so exhausted, but I would wake up every 3 minutes with excruciating pain. And because my baby was so early and my cervix was closed, they had to give me Zytotec to thin out my cervix, and it was causing my contractions to come over and over and over, and I could not get a break from them. It was so exhausting for me. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this epidural because I need to rest. When I got the epidural, it was not as painful as I thought it was. It just felt really weird. It was just like, felt really numb and pressure, and it just felt weird to me, but obviously it was nothing compared to the contractions. So I was just grateful that I was able to get it, and it went into effect really fast. As soon as I got it, felt 0 pain. I took a nap for like an hour. I was resting, and then within that hour I was able to dilate from 0 to 8 centimeters like that. The epidural allowed me to rest. It allowed my body to just relax a bit so that I can dilate. How was the pain? So during the beginning of the pushing phase, it wasn't painful, and I'm so glad. But towards the end, when I actually started like pushing him out, I started getting really tired, and the epidural was starting to like wear off a bit. I did ask for a really low dosage, so I was able to feel like more pain towards the end. Especially when it came to pushing him out, I started to feel a lot of pressure and pain. I started to feel like a little bit of that ring of fire that people talk about whenever you're pushing your baby out. So that wasn't fun, but it was also worth it. How is the recovery? The recovery is good. It's actually going pretty good. I'm so grateful for all the nurses that were there to help me recover. We were able to stay in the hospital a few days after birth, so that was really sweet. It definitely made the recovering process start really good, and now I am 10 days postpartum and I feel really good. What's the best part of motherhood? The best part of motherhood is just being able to have him, honestly. Being able to just care for my child and just love him every day and be with him. It's truly like a sacrificial kind of thing, kind of love, but it's all just so beautiful. It's so worth it. I love being a mom. I just feel so blessed. Anyways, that is the end of this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Bye guys. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.